Here we are. We're back together. It is a windy day. We have a lot of wind, and I'm not talking about my stomach. I'm talking about the weather outside. However, we do have lots of lovely sunshine, and for some of you, you might not be expecting me to be on at this time. All will be explained in a few moments. Here we go again. We have a lot to unpack today here on the show. This is English Addict coming to you live from the birthplace of the English language. You know where it is. I know where it is. We all know where it is. It is England. I know it's confusing. It's very, very confusing. First of all, hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy? I have lost my smiling face. Where has it gone? Wait there a moment. Come here. There it is. Hi everybody. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. I hope you are also happy with one of these on your face. If you are not, then I will try my best to put a smile on your face. I know it has been a very difficult week for many people around the world. We've had some very strange moments of time. We've also had some tragic moments of time occur as well. It has been a busy week in many different ways. My name is Duncan. I talk about the English language. You might say that I am an English addict. I love English very much. I have been speaking English for nearly 60 years. And guess what? I've almost got it right. It's taken that long for me because I am a slow learner. That's what my teachers used to say to me, you see. So my name is Duncan. English Addict is the name of the show, and we have a lot to unpack on today's show. A lot to talk about, many things to discuss, to be honest with you. First of all, can I mention the thing that I mentioned a few moments ago? For those wondering why I am on early, I can assure you I am not on early. British summertime started in the early hours of this morning. The clocks have gone forward by 1 hour here in the UK. Some other countries also around the world will put their clocks forward. We are one of those places. So now we are 1 hour ahead as British summertime begins, although the name is rather misleading because technically it isn't summertime yet, it's still springtime. But as the clocks go forward 1 hour to British summertime, then it gives the impression that we have arrived at summer, but we haven't yet. We still have a little way to go. So for those wondering why, Mr. Duncan, are you on at such a strange time, I can assure you now it is just after 8 minutes past 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in England. So for those worried or wondering, don't worry, there is nothing wrong with your clock. Where you are, we are now 1 hour ahead. British summertime, and of course for many places across Europe as well. Many places also put their clocks forward in the summer. The easy way, the way to remember it, by the way, is you spring forward and you fall back. Fall, of course, being the US version of autumn. So we say autumn in England. In the USA, they say fall. So you fall back, you spring forward, and that is how you can remember which way round you have to turn your clocks. So now we all know why I am on earlier. I'm not. I am on at exactly the same time as I always am, 2 o'clock. But now it is British summertime. I do feel as if I've over-explained that a little bit. I was in such a rush a few moments ago. I did something very silly, which I now regret. I was cleaning my teeth, but I wasn't standing in the bathroom. I was walking around the house, cleaning my teeth at the same time. And as you know, cleaning your teeth can be messy when you use lots of toothpaste, because all of the foam will come into your mouth as you brush your teeth. And some of the toothpaste came out of my mouth and went down my lovely shirt. So if you look carefully, you might notice just there is a stain. And that is toothpaste. Unfortunately, I was rushing around. I don't know why I was rushing around, because I had plenty of time. Although I was a little bit concerned about Mr. Steve, because he's not feeling very well today. I think he may have picked up a Yorkshire virus on our trip to Yorkshire. So I think maybe that's what he's done. So Mr. Steve will be with us. We have Mr. Steve in the studio at 2:30. Lots of things to talk about. We are talking about reuniting or trying to get back in touch with people who you've lost contact with. And it does happen a lot in life as you go through life. Life is one of those things that you go through, and on your journey you will meet people, and sometimes you will say goodbye to people, sometimes for a short period of time, and sometimes forever. But you might also find that maybe as time goes by, you decide that you want to get back in touch with that person. So you try to find them. You try to find that person. Getting back in touch with someone. Also, another story that has been in the news, all about privacy, being private, having privacy. So if you have privacy, we are talking about your state of being away from other people, or maybe something you know or something you have done that you want to keep to yourself. You have your own privacy. We sometimes pronounce the word also as privacy. So there are two ways of describing and pronouncing that word as well. Something else I did just before coming on, I was eating one of my sweets that I normally eat just before I start my live stream to soothe my throat, because I do have to talk for 2 hours. It's a long time to use your vocal cords. And I was about to put the sweet into my mouth, and it fell out of my hand and went on the floor onto my very dirty carpet. And guess what I did? I put it straight in my mouth. Have you ever done that? Have you ever dropped food on the floor and then you've picked it up and ate it? I've done it probably more times than I dare to admit, but I do it sometimes. If you drop something on the floor, especially if it's something delicious, if it is something tasty and nice, you drop it on the floor and then you pick it up and you think, you blow the dust, you blow the viruses off and all of the germs, and then you put it back into your mouth. Is it good? Is it a good thing to do? I don't know, but it can be very satisfying if it is something that you need or you enjoy. Talking of things we enjoy, April is coming, everyone. April is just around the corner. Of course, a busy month for many people. We have Easter coming up. We also have some treats as well. I think you know what I'm talking about. Of course, we are talking about Easter eggs, and there it is, one of my all-time favourite snacks, especially at this time of year. I love cream eggs. I know a lot of people don't like them because they find them a little bit sickly. If something is sickly, it is something that might make you feel a little unwell after eating it. So some people don't like these particular snacks, this particular type of sweet or candy, because they say that it is sickly. There is too much sugar in these particular things. But I have to say, I love these. In fact, I could probably eat 2 or 3 of these, one after the other. Can you hear my stomach? I know what it is. It's because I'm holding one of these in my hand, and now my stomach has become excited. It is thinking, come on, Mr. Duncan, put that Cadbury's cream egg inside me. I want to spend the afternoon digesting one of those. But unfortunately, Mr. Tummy, Mr. Stomach, you will have to wait a little bit longer because I have to use those later on. And I'm sure when Mr. Steve joins us, I'm sure Mr. Steve will once again complain about me eating too much rubbish, eating too much junk food. But I do like Easter eggs. So that is another thing that is coming up in April. And of course, on Tuesday, it is the 1st of April. Traditionally, lots of people will play tricks on each other on the 1st of April, April Fool's Day. So every year on the 1st of April, people will play tricks on each other. They will play jokes. They will do all sorts of things to trick each other with. And over the years, there have been many famous April Fool's jokes. I remember many years ago, I think it was in the 1960s, or maybe even the late 1950s, there was a television show on BBC and they were talking about spaghetti trees. It's very famous. If you look for spaghetti trees on YouTube, you will probably see the documentary that was broadcast many, many years ago on the BBC. And that was a classic April Fool's joke. So they pretended that spaghetti was grown on trees, which of course it isn't. Everyone knows it grows in the ground, of course. Hello to the live chat. We have the live chat watching right now. Hello to you. Nice to see you here today. Thank you very much for joining me. By the way, don't forget to give me a lovely subscription or maybe a lovely thumb to show you care. If you want to follow all of my lessons and all of my live streams, all you have to do is subscribe to me and you will never miss any more of my lessons ever. By the way, this year is a big year for YouTube. Do you know why? I might mention that a little bit later on. So hello to the live chat. We have the live chat. It's lovely to have you. Who was first on today's live chat? Oh, very interesting. In first place, we have Beatrice. Congratulations. Well done, Beatrice. You have a very fast finger this weekend. I don't know why. Maybe you've been exercising. Maybe you've been going to the gym and lifting very tiny weights with your finger to train it, to make it fast. I don't know, really. Also, we have Palmyra. We have Monte. We also have Tom Rocks. There are rumours going around about Tom Rocks. Some people believe that you are someone that we used to know. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm sure you will put everything right and explain. Hello to Cap Ann. Hello, Cap Ann. It's nice to see you here as well. We also have Palmyra is here as well. It's nice to see you here. Zutzika is also here. And of course, he is here, even though he is now on his travels. He's travelling around France, going to a very special part of France. In fact, you are now in the place, or you are going to the place, where my family originally came from. Because on my father's side, I am French. But please, don't let that put you off. Do not let that discourage you. On my father's side, it is the French gene, which is probably the reason why I enjoy eating croissants and garlic so much. He is here. A big bonjour to Luis Mendez is here today. Hello, Luis. Nice to see you back as well. We have so much to talk about today. Another thing I want to mention, on a slightly sad note, it is Mother's Day today. So if you are watching in the UK, we are now celebrating Mother's Day in the UK. And this is a special day that happens once a year, normally around the end of March or sometimes at the beginning of April. So Mother's Day is today, and I'm sure a lot of people will be sending gifts and chocolates to their mother, of course, and probably know what I'm about to say. Unfortunately for me, my mother died a couple of years ago, and also Mr. Steve's mum as well passed away 3 years ago. So sadly, our mothers are no longer with us. But on this special day, we are thinking about you, Mr. Steve's mum, and also my lovely mum as well. So for those who are celebrating Mother's Day today, I hope you give your mother a big extra hug and say it came from me. Say Mr. Duncan told me that I had to give you a big hug today. And now we know the reason why. Also we have, who else is here? Anna. Hello, Anna Michalak. Hello to you as well. I hope I pronounced your name right. Has anyone seen Vitas? I noticed he's been absent recently. I'm just wondering if everything is okay. Also we have Alessandra as well. Also we have, who else is here? One more and then we will move on. Okay, we will move on. Just a few moments ago I mentioned Cadbury's cream eggs. There you see. I love these so much. I could eat maybe 10, 20 or even 100 of these. But could I eat 350 of them? Well, in the news last week there was a report of a young man who was arrested whilst coming out of a shop, and it turned out that he had stolen not one, not two, but 335 Cadbury's cream eggs from a shop. So obviously, I think what must have happened, I think someone in the shop must have seen him stealing the eggs, and he was carefully putting them under his coat. So a lot of people, when they steal things in the shop, they will do something very carefully. Maybe they will put it into a bag or maybe under their coat. But this guy went even further than that. He stole 335 Cadbury's cream eggs, and he put them all under his coat. So imagine the surprise. Imagine the surprise when they searched him and found that he was carrying 335 Cadbury's cream eggs. Normally I would be a little bit outraged by that because, of course, stealing is bad. It is bad. Apparently it is in the Ten Commandments. Thou shalt not steal Cadbury's cream eggs. It says so. It's very clear on that. But I have to say, I don't blame him because they are delicious. If I thought I could get away with it, I would go into the nearest shop and I would hide Cadbury's cream eggs in my hat, and then I would run as fast as I could. Not that I'm encouraging that sort of behaviour, please. Do not blame me. Do not say Mr. Duncan told me to do it. But I still think it's amazing. All I can say is he must really love Cadbury's cream eggs. And that is the reason why I can't really blame him, to be honest with you. I can't blame him. It's wrong. It is wrong to steal. But please have mercy on him. I can understand why you would want to do that, because Cadbury's cream eggs are amazing. They are so delicious. Coming up in a few, hello. Coming up in a few moments, we have Mr. Steve. For those wondering who Mr. Steve is, or even what is Mr. Steve, to be honest with you, I'm still trying to work that one out. By the way, this morning I woke up to the beautiful sound of the birds. So I went outside. Would you like for a few moments to listen to the dawn chorus this morning? So I got up at 6:15 this morning, just as the sun was rising, and I recorded this sound, the sound of the birds with their lovely dawn chorus. Isn't that absolutely lovely? So that's what I did this morning. I got out of bed very early this morning and I thought, I am going to record the dawn chorus. And that's exactly what I did. But I don't think the birds were doing much this morning. They seemed a little... Well, they seemed as if they had no energy this morning. But I think in a few days from now, I think they will have much more energy. I really do. Mr. Steve is on his way. He will be with us in a few moments from now. And we have a lot to talk about today, including privacy. What does it mean to have your privacy? Do you value having your private things, your private space? All of that coming later on, and also we will be looking at lots of other things as well. And for those wondering why I am on earlier, I am not. It's just because the clocks have gone forward. Mr. Steve is coming up in a few moments. This is English Addict. Please don't go away.
I'm a big boy now.
English Addict is with you today. I hope you are having a good day. I really do. It is myself, Mr. Duncan. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but in that video we just watched with all of the different excerpts from my lessons, did you notice that on some of the videos I had a moustache? And can I just tell you, I don't even remember that period of time. I can't remember it. So I don't remember ever having a moustache. I remember having a beard for a short time, but I can't remember having a moustache. So when did I have that little bit of hair on my upper lip? Can someone tell me? Because I have no memory whatsoever of that particular thing. Talking about hairy things, he is sitting in the corner of the studio sucking on a throat lozenge. Mr. Steve, I think he's picked up the Yorkshire bug. I think so, because we were in Yorkshire, and he's been infected with the Yorkshire bug. Anyway, we will find out what is going on with him, because he is about to appear. It is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together and your... I nearly said something very rude then. I'm glad I didn't, because I was banned last week by YouTube. Did you hear that? Did you hear the news? One of my videos was almost banned by YouTube. Oh, here he comes then. It is the one, the only, Mr. Steve.
Hello, 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 lovely viewers across the globe, from all corners of the globe. Not that there are corners, but that's what we say. All over the world. Yes, Mr. Duncan, I've picked up a bug again, some kind of throat, probably just a cold, but it's a man flu, of course, which means it's much, much worse than a cold, because when men get these things, it is much worse. Actually, that's been proved, that men actually do suffer more when they get colds than women. So don't you criticise us men when we're feeling low and you think we're putting it on, because we're not, because we actually suffer more than you do. Anyway, I don't seem to be suffering that much, Mr. Duncan. Actually, now I've come on here, I feel full of energy.
Yes. Well, as I always say, it is a good form of therapy. If you want to feel better about your day, do a live stream. Nothing gets the adrenaline going
because
more.
You are living in the moment.
Yes.
And because you are living in the moment, and you have to be in the moment, otherwise, if you just suddenly went off dreaming somewhere, everybody would notice. The pressure is on to stay in the moment. And therefore, you're not thinking about all your little problems that are going on. Maybe some of them from years ago. They don't even affect you anymore, but you're still thinking about them. They're whirring away in the background. That's impossible on a live stream.
It is a good distraction. I always feel better as well. So when I wake up in the morning, I have my usual aches and pains, but as soon as I come on here and say, hi everybody, I feel much better. It is a great form of therapy because it gets your brain working as well. There is nothing more exciting or exhilarating than doing a live stream. Anyone who's done it, anyone who's ever done one of these, they will say it's very exciting.
Yes, Palmyra says, I notice you get colds more often than Mr. Duncan. Why? Well, I don't know. All my life, I've always caught lots of colds. Right from when I was very young, I've always got lots of colds, and it doesn't matter what I do, exercise, proper diet, supplements, vitamin C, echinacea, zinc tablet, whatever I do, it doesn't make any difference.
And the real irony...
So I think it's just my system is susceptible to viruses.
And the real irony is that Steve often obsesses. You are very careful about your health. You always take all sorts of vitamins and supplements and things all the time.
Fit, healthy,
But
young.
I don't.
Mr. Duncan doesn't do anything, and he never gets colds. It's
No.
sickening. Doesn't it annoy you when somebody's eating a pound of sugar a day,
There it is.
chocolate?
Steve, stop there. I said you were going to do that at some point today. I didn't think you were going to do it so quickly, but look what I've got in my hand here.
Oh, good grief! Maybe that's what maybe I need to start eating more chocolate, more
Yeah.
sugar, more
Yeah.
fat.
Yeah.
Don't take any exercise whatsoever,
So maybe,
and then I'll be fit and healthy.
perhaps, Steve, you're doing the wrong thing. Maybe you should be eating more of this. Maybe this is what is keeping me fit and healthy.
Actually, I think it's stress due to having to look after Mr. Duncan. It causes me so much stress that I come down with all these colds and flus.
But I knew. I said earlier, I bet at some point today, Steve makes a comment about my terrible eating habits. And there he was. He did it so quickly, I have to say. But I don't have a cold. I don't have any fever. I'm strong as an ox, as they say.
Well, at least I can bend down and tie up my shoelaces.
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Duncan.
I wasn't sure where you were going with that, but fortunately we didn't go too far.
I don't think it's going to be anything serious. It's just a cold.
Yeah.
That, as usual, goes straight onto my voice box,
Yeah.
stopping me from singing.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter.
I've always had them. I always will. Until they come up with a cure,
Mm.
a cure for the common cold, which is probably never going to happen,
Yeah.
then I'm probably always going to suffer.
I would imagine it's never going to
Suffer.
happen.
I suffer, Mr. Duncan.
I personally, Mr. Steve, think it's never going to happen. I don't think so. By
It
the way,
isn't.
for those wondering, there is nothing wrong with your clock. We have put the clocks forward by 1 hour in the UK and also across many parts of Europe. So for those wondering, Mr. Duncan, why are you on at this very strange time? I'm not on at a strange time. It is 2:42 in the afternoon. But last night we did put the clocks forward by 1 hour. So that is the reason why we are on earlier. Talking of days, it is Mother's Day today. A lot of people across the UK giving their gifts to their mother if they are lucky enough to still have them. And I suppose we should also remember our lovely mums as well. There is my mum and there is Mr. Steve's lovely mum. Both of them no longer with us, but they are today in our thoughts because it is Mother's Day, a beautiful summer's day. And I have to say, a lot of people say, Mr. Steve, that I look like my mum. But you don't really look like your mum.
I don't know. I think I look like a mixture of my dad and my mum. You say what? You think I look like my mum?
No. I don't. I think you look more like your father.
Right, okay.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
I think my character's more like my mother. It's strange, isn't it, how we have this mix of maybe look. Some children look exactly like younger versions of their mother or father.
That can I just say, Steve, that is really scary when that happens. When you see parents with their kids and the children, they look like tiny replicas of their parents, and it's very weird when you see that. You would never have to do any DNA test on those kids because you know for certain that because of the appearance of those children, and I'm not talking about their colour, I'm talking about the shape of their face or maybe their appearance generally. So we're not talking about race before anyone starts shaking their fist at their computer screen, nothing like that. Well, my favourite, of course, has to be Donald Trump. if you've ever seen a picture of Donald Trump and his mother next to each other, they look exactly the same. Even the hairstyle is very similar. Look it up on the internet if you have time. By the way, for those wondering, this is real human interaction. There is no artificial intelligence here.
There's no real intelligence either.
Steve, I was going to pay you a compliment then.
Go on then.
There is no artificial intelligence here. You have higher intelligence here today. You see? No AI, it's HI. Higher intelligence.
Or human intelligence.
Human intelligence. So between us, between Mr. Steve and myself, we almost complete one brain. There is almost one brain between us. And sometimes that's what you need to do. So if you are a little bit stupid, you just need to find another stupid person to join up with. And then you will have one brain. It's an interesting theory. I'm not sure if science will back it up. But
thank you, Rhubarb, saying that I look nice in this top. It's always nice to get a compliment, so thank you very much.
Doesn't happen often.
By the way, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Somebody mentioned earlier, Tom, well, are you an anti-vaxxer? Definitely not. No, I'm not. We're not going to go into that debate, but I'm not.
Steve.
It would...
I think the phrase you're looking for, Steve, is opening a can of worms.
Yeah, we won't go into that conversation, but the answer is no, I'm not.
Okay.
In fact, I do have the flu vaccine. I've had every vaccine that you could possibly have. Even that doesn't help.
Steve said he's not going to talk about it, and then he continues to talk about it.
Well, not about the,
Yeah, anyway. Let's just end that, because last week YouTube tried to ban me because I put an excerpt from last week's live stream onto my YouTube channel, and YouTube did not like the video. They were telling me, no, Mr. Duncan, no, you cannot post something like that on YouTube, you naughty man. So everything, all of the controls that stopped that video from being seen, it was all activated by my lovely little video. And we were just talking about, all we were doing was talking about our time in Pickering. And we noticed certain shops that were selling unusual things. By the way, later on today, we will be talking about privacy. I always feel that, Mr. Steve, I always feel that you feel deep down that your privacy is important. So it might be a good topic to talk about a little bit later on. Privacy. Also, getting back in touch with someone who you haven't seen for a long time. And I think this happens a lot, doesn't it, Steve, in life, as you go through life, because you become more busy as you get older. And sometimes I think it's normal to lose touch with people, maybe a person you were close to, perhaps a friend, or even sometimes a distant relative. I think you can lose touch with relatives as well.
Relatives, friends, school friends. Sometimes you move away, maybe go to college, and then you end up getting a job a long way away. This happened to us when we went to Pickering. We went to visit a friend who we hadn't seen for 24 years. And sadly, her husband had died about 2 years ago, who I went to college with. So that was quite sad. So we went to see her while we were there. And of course, we were both lamenting
Ooh.
The fact that we had left it so long to see each other, because we communicated through Christmas cards mainly. And every Christmas, I would say for odd years, we would say, Happy Christmas, a little summary of what's been going on, and then we must see you in this year. And we said the same thing for 23 years. Never did see each other. One of them died, and then, because they are 4 hours away by car, and it, as you say, they had children.
Yes.
They've got family over there, and you just grow apart, in not only in distance but in everything. Because if you don't see somebody for a long time,
Yes.
they just gradually fade and become less important in your life.
But don't forget, Steve, it happens both ways. Both
Yes.
ways. So you're doing that thing, but the other people are also doing the same thing. And that's the reason why it is possible to lose touch, even with someone you were very close to, maybe a good friend. So, for example, the young guy who died, your friend who helped you out when you were much younger, in your younger life. You
Yes.
were friends, but over time you lost touch with each other. And then you only found out, or you only got back in touch after he sadly passed away. But strangely, it has allowed you to reconnect with his wife and, of course, their two sons. And we went to one of their christenings when they were a baby, and now they are both fully grown adults. And that really does make me feel incredibly old. But it does happen a lot. In fact, I think we will talk about this over the next few minutes, because sometimes you might feel as if you want to get back in touch with someone. You feel as if you want to, I suppose the word I'm looking for, Steve, is reacquaint. Reacquaint is quite a good word. I like that word. So to reacquaint yourself, we will look at all of these words over the next few moments. So I think it does happen a lot in life. It is possible to lose touch with people, even, as I said, even relatives. It's happened to me in my life. I've actually lost touch over the years with relatives, and I'm sure the same thing has probably happened to you out there in YouTube land.
Yes, please tell us. Does this happen to you? I don't think it's just us, but, tell us what's happened to you. Do you always stay in touch with friends, family, or are the friends, family that you've lost touch with? Not because you didn't like them, but just because life, they moved away, for whatever reason. Feel free to tell us in the chat about that, because when my mother died, we obviously had to tell her family she'd got brothers and a sister,
Yes.
who live a long way away in the UK, but still live a long way, and we hadn't seen them for years. Probably I don't think we'd seen my mother's brothers for probably 40 years, probably more than that. And of course I thought, well, this would be a good opportunity to reacquaint myself with them, but they really weren't interested because time had passed. They didn't come to the funeral. My mother hadn't seen them for a long time. They used to my mother used to communicate with her brothers on the phone. But our family was never a great one for staying in touch because we just lived so far away.
Yeah.
My parents moved away from where they were born. Both their families more or less stayed there, and because of that they didn't stay in touch, which is quite sad because I really don't have any family members now that I'm in touch with apart from my sister.
And I think that happens a lot, even in families. We always assume, and I know we talked about this the other day, not here on the live stream, but we did talk about it with some friends, and I think quite often, even in families, there are divisions or distance, especially when people move away to a distant place, sometimes to another town or city, or maybe to another country completely. And I think it does happen. We always assume that everyone is having a wonderful family life and everyone is happy and they all love each other. But I think it is more common for families not to get along. And quite often you will have divisions, arguments, maybe some sort of disagreement. So I think it does happen, probably more than we realise. So today's question is, have you ever tried to find or contact a person you've lost touch with?
Yes.
We all lose touch with people as we go through life. It is. I think it is part of life, to be honest with you. I think it is something you can't avoid. Losing touch with people, not because they've passed away, but just because you become distant. For example, many years ago I had a wonderful friend. He's still my friend Sean. And we spent lots of time together. We were both interested in the same thing, which was radio broadcasting. So we used to do shows on certain radio stations, voluntary radio stations as well. But over the years we lost touch. And then Sean moved away to the south coast of England. And gradually you lose touch, even though we used to spend a lot of time together doing radio things. And it almost seemed as if we would always know each other. But time goes by, things happen, and you slowly drift apart, almost to the point where you never contact each other. Fortunately, of course, we do have the internet. But even then, quite often, you might still lose touch with people. So just because we have the internet, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will always be in touch with people. In fact, this is a good time to make a confession, Steve. Sean, if you're watching at the moment, Sean, I've lost your address. I've lost your home address because you moved. And I haven't got it. I know you gave it to me, but I haven't got it. No, I mislaid it. I don't know where it's gone. So I can say it now because I'm on my live show and I don't feel too embarrassed about it. But Sean, if you could let me know what your address actually is, and then this year I can send you a Christmas card. Okay. It's like a personal announcement taking place there. So we all lose touch with people as we go through life. It is normal. And here is a list, Steve, of people who you might lose touch with on the screen.
Friends, classmates, workmates.
We'll go through them one by one. So so friends, of course. Now, friends covers a big subject, doesn't it, really?
Yes, because they could be, work friends, friends from school. Yeah, friends are anybody that you know who's not family. But then family can be friends. Your partner can be a friend. It's somebody that you share commonalities with. You can talk to them, that you understand each other on a different level. You help each other out, and you just get on. We've got lots of friends on here. Of course, we think of you all as friends that come onto the live stream. So
in this sense, it is possible to lose touch with friends, especially maybe just like you, Steve, people you knew in your younger life and also my younger life as well. So there are many people I used to know, I used to spend time with, I used to visit, we used to go out and have maybe a night out in the bars and the pubs. But now these people have faded away from my life. And I think in a way it is sad. But friends come and friends go.
I think the thing is, though, Beatrice says here, I lost touch with some friends when I moved to the mountains. But sometimes I think you can only have so many friends can't you? Because otherwise you're going to be going out all the time. Because to maintain a friendship takes effort. You have to see that person or talk to them or write. Well, I don't think anybody writes to anybody anymore. But texting. And if you get a new friend because you might have started a new job, or you might have moved somewhere, or you just meet somebody and you're suddenly in a new circle of people and you make some friends there, then you've only got so much time to maintain these relationships. And therefore I think what happens is naturally over time then you do lose touch with some people. Maybe they were people that maybe they were more acquaintances than friends, because there's a difference, isn't there, between an acquaintance.
Well, we will look at that in a moment, because it is on our list. So your friends, the people that you know over the years, and of course here's one that's very popular in some countries. I know in China and Asian countries, a lot of people like to keep in touch with those they went to school with their classmates. Now here, I don't think we do that quite so much. We don't tend to keep in touch with people we were at school with. But in other cultures, in other countries, that bond between those who went to school together is very strong, and quite often they will have reunions or they will meet up regularly with their classmates. So I always find that quite an interesting thing.
I keep in touch over the years. You know, when you work a long period of time, you have friends, and there was a group of us that were in the same team, the same sales team, and they wanted to make quite a lot of people redundant. This was about 14 years ago, and quite a number of them decided that they would take the money and be made redundant. I didn't at the time. I stayed. And I think they were all in relationships where the husbands were the main breadwinner. So I think for them it was quite an easy decision to say, well, all right, I'll take the money and go. But we've all stayed in touch. We meet up at least once a year. In fact, we met up last week. We just go out for a meal, a couple of hours, 3 hours, something like that. Sometimes we've stayed in a town overnight. And there's 5 of us, and we've always stayed in touch over all these 14 years. So that's quite good.
So these are not classmates, though?
These are, I would say, they're work friends.
That's it, yeah.
Ex-work friends.
So workmates.
Workmates. I don't know. They are friends, but it depends on how you define a friend.
Well, workmates are just generally people you make friends with and they work with you. But there's nothing wrong, there's nothing unusual about keeping in touch with people you used to work with, or maybe people you went to school with. So those two things are both quite relevant, I suppose, and it is possible to keep in touch with classmates or workmates, colleagues who you spent a lot of time with. So yes, I think that can happen. But of course, if you leave your job and move somewhere else, then quite often you lose contact with the people you worked with at your previous job. Here's another word, Steve. This is one you've used already. Acquaintances. And I think this is a good word.
Yes, acquaintances are people that you know, maybe through work, maybe through other things. Like, for example, I'm in various musical societies, as a lot of you know, and I have a lot of acquaintances there. So they are people that when I'm at that particular place, I know them. I've known some of them for years. I wouldn't class them as friends. They're just people that I say hello to. We have a little chat about the show, and then when the rehearsal's finished, we all go home. We don't communicate outside that particular place.
So how would you define an acquaintance?
I think it's somebody that you know. You might know them very well, but you don't actually develop a deeper relationship that you see see them outside that place where you first met them. So, a friend is somebody that you confide in, that will give you lifts, will help you. But an acquaintance is somebody that you just talk to them.
Yes, you might see them from a distance.
You might see them from a distance. That you'll be talking to them, but you won't do it. And for example, at work, you might have lots of people that you talk to, but the outside work, you never see them. You don't talk to them on the phone. You don't text them. They're acquaintances. They're not friends, because it hasn't moved to that level where you go out socialising. And you confide things to each other,
yes,
about your personal life or whatever. A friend is something quite different, because we all know lots of people,
yes,
don't we? But they're not necessarily friends. They're acquaintances, people we know. Hello, how are you? You having a good day? Fine. And you might have seen them for 20 years at work. They never become friends because you just don't want to be friends with them, and they don't want to be friends with you. You're nice to each other. You're civil to each other.
Yes. So I think with acquaintances, they are people who you might have contact with, but that contact is either short or it is not personal.
Yes.
So as you said, maybe neighbours. Maybe if you're walking around town, it happens to us quite often. When we are walking around town here in Much Wenlock, you might see people we know. We might just say, hi, morning, how's the weather? Good day, yes, nice, not too bad. How are the family? And then you go off.
You go off. It's just, it's a social interaction that doesn't ever go to the level of a friend, of friendship.
Yes.
Somebody that you actually do care about that person.
Now, going back now, Steve, in time, going back way back in time, the next one on the list, this used to be a very popular thing many years ago. I never had one of these, by the way, but a lot of people I knew years ago had pen pals, a person you would write to on a regular basis. Now, this can be someone who lives in another country, far away, maybe someone you met in the past, and now you have a long distance between you. So a pen pal used to be very popular. You would write a letter to your friend and post it, and then they would reply, and they would send you a letter in return as their reply. Pen pals, although nowadays I don't think they really exist anymore, to be honest.
Yes, I don't know if my mother used to have pen pals. It was she used to write to people, friends that she used to know when she was growing up. Somebody that you wouldn't see them, you wouldn't talk to them, you would just write to them, which of course is what people used to do in the old days, shall we say.
Yes.
50 years or so or more. But no, pen pals. I suppose you might want to, if people were to communicate with each other on the internet, that might be the modern equivalent of that. If you're writing an email to somebody or texting, though you could describe that as a pen pal, but it's not really the same. If you're writing, it's just if you just communicate with somebody through writing,
yes,
whatever that means would be. But I don't, as you say, I don't really think they exist. Does anybody out there watching now have what they would describe as a pen pal? Do let us know.
So I would say it's not a person who you communicate with via email or on camera, because those things are a little bit more direct and personal. I'm talking about something that is distant, and the correspondence is over a long distance and not regular. So maybe once a month, twice a month. But I don't think we really have such a thing anymore. And of course, Steve, the final one on the list of Looking up an old friend. How about lovers? Now,
You mean
not
past lovers?
well, of course, lovers from the past. Maybe a person you've had a relationship with, and then you were together, and then you decided to go bye-bye. And maybe years later you think, I wonder what that person is doing now. Because we had a nice time together. We used to have a lot of fun. But then we for some reason, whatever the reason may be, we split up. We went our separate ways. I wonder what they're doing now. So maybe a lover or lovers, if you are very lucky, if you've had lots and lots of lovers over the years, you might be wondering what they're doing nowadays. What are they up to? Did they ever find that perfect person?
I think we do, don't you? But when you've been in a deep relationship with somebody, and then you break up, I think they're always there. You always do think about them.
Well, I suppose it depends how deep that affection was originally. So,
if you were a lover with somebody, if you were in love with them, then you're always, even. I mean, I've found I've been in relationships in the past that have ended quite badly, but I think over the years, you sort of forget about all the bad things sometimes and just remember the good things.
Yes.
I think that definitely does happen. And then you start to think, oh, yes, they were quite good. That was quite a nice relationship. I wonder what they're doing now. I wouldn't want to get in touch. Claudia says here, I don't stay in touch with lovers. Because if you've moved on, and it's particularly if you're in another relationship, it's very dangerous,
yes.
is it not, to get in touch with a past love?
Yes,
because you might rekindle the fires.
Yes, and your new lover, your new partner, might be a little bit jealous.
Oh, it could cause all sorts of problems. Best to stay away.
Yes.
You're right, Claudia.
Sometimes it is best to close the book and keep that book.
Close the book and move on. I read somewhere years ago, somebody said, never go back, some philosopher. If you've left a job, never go back. If you've left a person, never go back. Always move on, never go back.
It sounds like something Jordan Peterson would say.
He may well say that. You've always got to move, because if you've made a decision to do something, then that means that you've moved on in some way.
Yes.
Maybe you've grown as a person, and therefore that person that you had a relationship with just doesn't suit what you're doing anymore in your life or where you want to go. So you don't want to go back. It's like going back to an old job. Sometimes I know people do go back to old jobs, but if you're thinking of moving forward, that's just an expression, isn't it? Don't go back.
I think that's an interesting point you've just made, Steve, because that is it. Sometimes you can't go back. Sometimes life is always going forward, and sometimes there will be moments where you meet someone and then you lose touch with them, and that is just the way it goes, whether it's work colleagues or maybe friends in general, or, of course, as I mentioned a few moments ago, people you have a relationship with, and then for any reason, whatever that reason may be, it just doesn't last. Moving on, because
if you were going, just leave that up for a second. If you were going to rank those,
okay,
in order of intensity of relationship, you could do that, couldn't you? You could rank them. Yes. In order of the level of commitment in that relationship.
Well, you might not believe this, Steve, but I almost have. Believe it or not. But in this case, friends is just a general term. Classmates, people you used to know, you might still know. Workmates, people you work with, or maybe people you used to work with. Acquaintances, general friends, or people you know generally but not closely. Pen pals, that's a little bit out of date now. And of course I've put the most important one, or the one that might have the biggest effect on your life, last. So I have kind of done that, believe it or not.
Yes, I suppose the ones that you're least attached to would be acquaintances.
Yes, just by their very nature.
They're the ones that you're least emotionally attached to, because at the end of the day, it's the emotion that is the driving factor behind how close you get to somebody. And workmates, you see, and classmates.
Anyway.
They could be at the same level as friends. But you could rank that.
We've got to move on because we've got a lot of things to talk about still.
Beatrice is in contact with some of her ex-lovers.
Oh, I see.
How many, Beatrice?
Yes. It sounds as if there might be a bit of a queue.
Some people have only had one love in their life, and they've stuck with them for many, many years, and they never look elsewhere.
Who would
Fernando
who
from
would do
Argentina?
that?
Hello.
Anyway, Steve, we've got to get back to the lesson plan. You
Fine.
want to get back in touch and reacquaint with them, which is the point of this, by the way. So we're actually talking about getting back in touch, trying to find someone. So you maybe years ago you used to work with someone, or maybe a person as I said, maybe you were lovers. You want to get back in touch and reacquaint. And I do like that word, reacquaint, to reconnect, to find that person again. You reacquaint yourself.
Reacquaint. Yes, sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you meet somebody from a long, long time ago and you just think, we're very different people now. They've moved on. Their life has taken a certain direction. Your life has taken another direction, and suddenly you haven't got anything in common anymore. Before, like school friends, because with school friends, you're sort of forced together, aren't you?
Yes.
It's like work friends. You're sort of forced together in those situations where you really have to make relationships work. Particularly at work, if you're in an office or in a team like I am, you have to make an effort to form a relationship with people. Otherwise, that work environment becomes uncomfortable.
Especially if you don't like them anyway.
Yeah, so even if you don't like somebody, you have to try and find some commonality between the two of you.
Anyway,
to make a relationship so that you can at least get on and doesn't cause disruption at work.
So what we're talking about now, Steve, is getting back in touch with them. So
yes,
but you get to a point in your life, maybe you are in your 50s and you are thinking about people you knew 20 years ago, and you're thinking, well, maybe I could get back in touch with them and reacquaint with them. It is hard. And this is the problem, Steve. So there is a problem. There is a problem with this. It is hard to get back in touch with someone you have not seen for a long time. And I think this is an interesting thing, because I would imagine everyone at some point has thought, I used to work with that person. I wonder what they're doing now. I wonder if I could get back in touch with them. Would they want to know me? Would they be interested in getting back in touch? Would there be some general interest between us? Or maybe over the years we've moved apart and now we might have nothing to say to each other. Now, many years ago, Steve, I used to work with a lovely lady called Doreen. And I know that she still lives in the same place where she lived years ago. And I've often had this little thought of actually getting back in touch with her. But actually, I don't know why, but I actually feel afraid to do it. And I don't know why. Well, I have a feeling that there might be a couple of reasons, which we will talk about in a moment. What were you going to say, Steve?
I was going to say, Beatrice says that she found two friends through the internet. That's getting back in touch. Palmyra said as well, Facebook helped me to restore ties with former work colleagues. The other one that people use a lot at work for getting jobs now, LinkedIn. LinkedIn. I've suddenly got a message from somebody in LinkedIn from a previous work colleague. Oh, hi, didn't know you were still in the job market, and suddenly you can reacquaint yourself with that person.
Yes.
So there are lots of ways of doing it, and there are websites, for example, your old school. I did try that actually. I tried going on the school that I went to, and reacquainting myself, but nothing came of it.
Yeah, I have to be honest that I don't think I would want to reacquaint myself with most people who I went to school with, because I hated school so much, because most of the people I was at school with were horrible people, and I could not wait to leave that place, if I was completely honest with you. Many people feel awkward, and this is the reason why I can't get back in touch with Doreen, you see. I want to phone her, I want to call her. Many people feel awkward or afraid to approach a person they have lost touch with. And I think this is a normal feeling. So I feel that way. But I'm not sure exactly why I feel uncomfortable about it. Maybe two reasons. One, this is just my theory. One could be perhaps she's passed away, and I don't want to hear that news. So maybe I'm avoiding that, because there is a chance, of course, that she may have died. Or, of course, she might not want to speak to me. She might hear my voice and just put the phone down.
So rejection, your fear is of rejection.
Yes. So I think,
which is an ego thing, isn't it?
Well, this is just a theory. A theory.
Yes, I think it touches on what we said earlier about, have you got the time? How many friends can you actually manage in an average life with work, family, other friends? How many friends can you actually have and maintain good relationships with them? Well,
I always think it's one of the biggest lies that exist, especially in advertising. Because when you see advertising on TV, or sometimes here, you often see young people always in big groups. Friends, they have friends all around them, and they're in a big group and they're having a great time. But I don't think that is a real thing. I don't think that really happens in real life. I don't think it's a real thing. I think that only happens in adverts and commercials, things like that everyone has this huge group of friends around them all the time.
I know. I mean, some people don't want, they want, for example, at the weekend, I used to have a friend, a work friend, a colleague. I would say a work friend, yes. But she and her husband they were always entertaining, always going away to stay at other people's houses, always going out somewhere with groups of friends. A very sociable person. Some people are more sociable than others. For example, at the weekend, I don't really like to do very much at the weekend. I like to just be by myself. Well, apart from with obviously Mr. Duncan. But some people have more friends than others. I think it's Lewis made a good comment earlier. As you grow older, people disappear. In other words, people die.
Well,
but you find new friends. That's why life is fantastic.
I think what Lewis means is they also go off and find their own lives.
Yes, that as well.
You connect in your life, and then you go your separate ways.
And if you're always like Lewis is, somebody who's always keen to stay in the world and find out new things and is interested, then you'll meet new people and make new friends.
We seem to keep drifting away from the subject. That person might reject you, someone you are trying to reconnect with, a person you knew in the past, and you might be rejected by them. And I think especially if you've had a deep relationship with someone in the past, I think it is hard to get back in touch with them, because you have, of course, lots of memories, and maybe your emotions are mixed as well. And finally, on this particular subject, and you've mentioned this already, Steve, you might try to find that person on the internet or with an old email address. So perhaps you look through your emails and you find some old emails from someone who you've lost touch with. So again, you might be tempted. You might think, I might send that person an email just to say, hi, remember me?
Yes, Lewis makes a point here about when you join something like the Navy, where discipline is strong, that the armed forces, then that solidarity comes from you working together in maybe dangerous situations. My father was the same. He was in the merchant navy, and he stayed in touch with all his work colleagues, all his navy colleagues, all the way through his life. They'd always be talking on the phone. They'd meet up once a year as a group, because when you're, on a ship all together for months on end, then you build that solidarity, because you have to work together to survive, really.
Well, and let's face it, if you are in the military and you're with other people, you all have to make sure you know each other and trust each other as well, because you are in a very unique situation where, well, there might be a moment of time where you all have to fight together, not each other, but together as a group. You might have to find the enemy, and you have to make sure all of your friends are with you. You all have that very, I would say it's a very personal and close bond indeed.
This is what they try to do in work teams. I've noticed this over the years. They try to get the team members to bond together, because they know that if you're in a team, I'm in a team of 10, there's four other teams of 10, geographically located or organised, and we get together from time to time, and they want us to gel as a team. They want us to gel. If you gel, it means you all get on, and they know that if everyone is working together in a team, the sales will be higher, because you're helping each other out, giving each other tips, supporting each other. So what they try to do is that when we meet up, they will give you team building exercises, which is usually it's some task that you've all got to work together to overcome some obstacle, overcome some problem, and solve it. And as you do that, you're forming bonds with each other in a similar way that you would if you were on board a ship.
Yeah, well,
and so they're trying to, this is what they try to get you to do.
That's it. Yes, I think. Well, this is an interesting subject, and I know that this is a much wider subject as well. So the subject is not just one thing, but it can cover a much wider aspect as well.
Diego, so can you just explain your question a bit more?
Hello, Diego Molina Lara. Mr. Steve, for you as a biologist, what is life? What is the main trait of life? Sorry for the question.
Do you mean, do I believe that we are just physical beings, and when we die there's nothing? Is that what you or do you think, do I believe in something after life? Is that what you mean?
I think maybe it's just your secret to life, or we can't really get into this now, Steve.
No, I'm not. I was just interested in what the...
That's it, because we only have 31 minutes left
Well, I mean, I would only say there that, I mean, I don't necessarily follow it myself, but they always tell you, don't they, all the experts for a successful life, they tell you to follow your heart.
Yes.
Is what they say. I'm not saying that that's what I've done, but that's what they tell you to do. Follow what you strongly believe is right in your heart, and then supposedly you will be happier.
Yes. I think generally in life, from the point of view of living your life, and of course the biological side is the existence of life itself, living creatures. So those two things are kind of separate, but I think we will save that for another time.
That's lovely. Fernando came on earlier from Buenos Aires and made a comment that he was feeling lonely. None of us want to feel lonely, and Claudia has reached out and said, let's get in touch. How lovely. See, that's why how lovely people we have here on the live chat.
Well, this is one of the reasons why I suppose the success of this is that we talk on here together, and now I'm losing my voice. That's good.
Getting emotional.
But no, sorry. What did you say, Steve?
I thought that's why you were losing your voice, because you were getting emotional.
Okay. About what? What was I getting emotional? Sorry.
No, I'm just saying you say you were losing your voice. Just carry on, Mr. Duncan.
I don't know what I was getting emotional about.
Well, I don't know, but we were talking about friends and staying in touch. So,
I see. Yes, one of the... Oh, I see what you mean now. So, you just randomly said getting emotional. I was anyway. That's it. I have no idea what I was just talking about then now. Is anyone still watching? Don't go away, please. My brain has stopped.
Mr. Duncan, just carry on.
I know. I can't remember what I was saying.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know what you were talking about.
I was just saying the good thing about this is it brings people together.
Yes.
We come on here and talk, especially when my voice is working, and it brings people together as well, because we kind of share an interest with each other, and that interest, of course, is English. I'm sorry about my brain malfunction a few seconds ago.
Yes, and it's more than that, isn't it? With people that we contact on and see through here, because we've actually met up with a lot of people who are on here today.
Yes, and of course we are doing the same thing again. We will be meeting up with some of our viewers, some of our students, because we are, of course, meeting up on the 1st of June 2025 is the Paris Rendezvous. We will be getting together. So if you are interested, then please let me know. The Paris Rendezvous is taking place in Paris on the 1st of June. So that is one of the things we love doing now. We've done it twice. We did it once in France, Paris. Then we did it in Rome, Italy. And this year we are going back to France again to do it in Paris on the 1st of June. We will be meeting up if you are interested.
Let Mr. Duncan know. Send him an email.
Yes.
And then eventually, when we've got the list together, we'll form a little group so that we can stay in touch when we're there.
Yes, because it's a very long way off at the moment. But of course, April is coming up.
Not that far, Mr. Duncan.
No, when you think about it.
It's only 2 months, really.
It is April next week. So, wow, incredible. Mr. Steve, we've been talking about some interesting subjects today. I don't think we've got time to talk about privacy, because I've got a huge bit here, and I didn't realise we were going to spend so much time talking about reacquainting with other people. So I have to say, it always happens though, doesn't it, Steve? We always eventually find that time will beat us. So I think maybe we will do that next Sunday. We will talk about privacy next Sunday.
Claudia's used a good word
Yes.
that can be used in a relationship to describe a particular type of relationship, a platonic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Claudia said, "Mr. Duncan, you are my platonic love." Of course, that what do you want to explain that, or it's purely platonic? If somebody says to you, "Oh, you two seem very close," you can say, and they're hinting that you may be in some kind of,
Well, romantic.
relationship beyond friends.
Yes.
That you could be sharing the same
Okay.
bed, shall we say?
Steve, it's non-romantic.
Yes,
A
exactly.
That's it. Non-romantic love.
Somebody, and you might say, "Oh no, it's purely platonic,"
That's it.
and it just means that you're friends, and it hasn't gone to any level of romance. A bromance, yes, that's it. Bromance is an interesting phrase that's come into use these days. It's to indicate two men
Yeah.
who are very close.
Well, they're very good friends.
They're very good friends, and they might go out to the pub a lot together, and people begin to say, "Oh, I wonder what's going on between those two."
Okay.
It's a bromance. They're not romantically involved, but they are very close
Yes.
and get on very well together.
Right.
So
See, Steve, we've got to stop here because
Okay.
again, we are running out of time. But yes, you are right. A bromance, by the way, was coined. A bromance was coined around 25 years ago. So not now, not recently, but 25 years ago. I still can't believe it. But two men who are always together, it almost seems as if they might be in love, but they are not. They are just having a bromance. Very
Yes.
nice.
They're very good friends.
We are taking a quick break, Steve, and then we're back with our big competition. We will do privacy next week because we just don't have enough time. Now, you mentioned during the week, Steve, that we should have a look at the steam train again that we saw during our trip to Pickering. So we will have a break and I will try to sort my throat out. And then we are coming back. We are going to play Guess the Picture Idiom. All of that coming up right after this. What a wonderful experience that was to see the train pulling out of the station. And of course, it was a steam train, and that was the first day that the steam train was active after the winter break. And we were there to witness it pulling away. And all of the carriages, they were full of people. You could not get on the train. You could not buy a ticket. It was already booked completely. And we really hope that maybe in the future we have a chance to go back there again and have a little ride on the steam train. But a wonderful, wonderful experience. And I think I get the feeling that you enjoyed it, Steve.
I did because it's nostalgia, isn't it? Nostalgia. I wasn't really. Steam trains when I was born were being phased out, so I don't remember steam trains when I was growing up because we had the diesel trains that come in. I think steam trains had more or less gone by the mid-60s.
Yes.
But of course my parents remembered them very well, and there are a lot of steam enthusiasts in the UK, and there are old railways that operate just as steam railways, just for pleasure, really.
Yes.
They operate on certain lines that have been maintained by volunteers.
Yes.
And you can go on a nice ride. There's one not far from us, Mr. Duncan. In Bridgnorth, and the steam trains run from there.
Yes, it's the Severn Valley Railway.
The Severn Valley Railway, and you can buy a ticket. We took Mum on one, and it's quite an experience because it's like they're alive, steam trains. The steam pouring out, the hissing, the chuffing. And it's just a lovely experience.
They were known as dragons, the steel dragons.
Yes.
For a while, because a lot of people were afraid of them. Of course, any new technology, anything new that comes along, people are normally afraid of it.
Well, do you have anyone watching now? Do you still have old steam trains operating for leisure, for tourism? In your countries, do they still keep the steam trains going in certain circumstances on certain lines? Please let us know.
The most famous steam train in this country that lots of people think of is, of course, the Flying Scotsman. It is probably the most famous steam train, if not in the world, because it did go on a world tour after it was restored.
It did.
It actually went all the way to the USA and was used over there as a tourist attraction as well. And still running, by the way. Still running to this very day.
It came here to Bridgnorth near us. I think it comes every year, once a year. But of course they're incredibly expensive to maintain.
True.
They're like thoroughbred sports cars. Formula One cars. They're very, very expensive to maintain and to run, and you've got to have a lot of donations from the public to keep these going.
It's all done voluntarily, and I find that amazing. Anyway, from old crunky creaking things, and I'm not talking about us, I'm talking about steam trains, to something exciting, Mr. Steve, because this is now, I think it's the 3rd or 4th week that we are doing this, our new game. And guess what? We now have music and titles for our little game. The name of the game is simple. All you have to do is look at a picture, and that picture is expressing a well-known idiom or phrase. So let's play Guess the Picture Idiom. Guess the picture idiom. All you have to do is Well, as the name suggests, what you have to do is guess the picture idiom. So I'm going to show you pictures now on the screen, and all you have to do is tell me what the idiom is. And even if you don't know, don't worry. There is nothing to be ashamed of. If you don't know what it is, it's fine, because we will give you the answer and explain the idiom as well. So here we go. Here's the first one. I'm going to put it up on the screen right now. Are you ready? Here we go. I will just rearrange Mr. Steve slightly. I can actually move it on my own now, Steve. So if you stay where you are.
Okay.
And that's it. There we go. So now Mr. Steve, as if by magic, has moved across. Here we go then. Guess the picture idiom. So just look at the picture, and if it seems familiar, if it feels like something you know, then just tell me on the live chat. The first picture idiom is coming up right now. There it is. Oh, very interesting. So this might be something you get when you visit somewhere or you meet someone. So look at the picture very carefully. You might even want to zoom in, because if you're watching on your mobile phone or a tablet, you can actually zoom in on the picture, because YouTube is amazing.
Is that a receptionist, Mr. Duncan?
Yes. Okay, Steve. So yes, well, you can tell that this is somewhere where you check in.
It's cold by the look of it.
Okay.
I'm looking for some clues here. This is a interesting one, Mr. Duncan.
So anyone, look at what is happening. Look at the girl in the photo. Does she look happy or does she look unhappy? What kind of greeting would you describe that as? And where is it? So there are loads of clues there. There are so many clues. When you go into a hotel, what's the first place you go to? Don't answer, Steve. What's the first place you go to normally? It has a certain name, doesn't it? But
the
look,
toilet for me.
Look. Sorry?
The toilet for me, because I've usually been driving for several hours. But then I will go to this place afterwards. So
this is somewhere you might go to, but this is a certain type of place, because look around the girl. Look what is happening. It's definitely not a hot place. I will give you the answer in a moment, so don't worry. I'm not going to keep you waiting for too long if you want to know.
So we've got cold check, cold greeting.
Cold
greeting.
Yes, that's quite good actually.
That's good.
That's good. That's a good guess.
Cool reception, says Fariborch. Yes. Cold welcome, says Beatrice. Yes. I don't know exactly. I think I know what this is, but yes. So that it looks cold, but what is behind that girl there?
She looks
more worried than anything.
You would describe that as a type of thing, wouldn't you? A type of thing.
She's very unfriendly. Let's say whatever that look is that she's got, if you see that as a very unfriendly look, it doesn't look unfriendly. It looks more sort of like she's worried. But I think you mean it to mean she's unfriendly. Is that right, Mr. Duncan?
That's it. Yeah. She doesn't look happy. I used to know a girl like that. She definitely doesn't look very happy, or she doesn't look very welcoming.
Cold look. Yes. I think a lot of people have sort of got the Fariborts.
Mm.
Ooh. Fariborts. Could that be very close?
Yes, it's a very good guess. It's not quite what I'm looking for.
Icy reception. Well, yes, that is.
But I think that is a very good answer, by the way. In fact, I think there might be maybe 2 or 3 possible answers to this. But here is what I've got. So I will show you now on the screen.
What's another word for icy?
Yes. So something that might form on the window, or something that might appear overnight when it is very cold.
Yes, Fariborts. I think you've got it.
So let's have a look. The answer is frosty reception.
But icy reception is the same thing,
Yes,
really.
In fact, I think cold reception,
Yeah.
icy reception, frosty reception. So what does this actually mean? It means if you are greeted by someone but they don't look very happy to see you, or maybe they are a little bit rude, we can describe that type of greeting as a frosty reception. You are being greeted in a cold and rude way.
Sometimes you might be checking in at the airport. Actually, when people check in at airports now, they usually check in by themselves, don't they now? But yes, if you go to somewhere to rent a car, you go to a bank, you go somewhere where there's somebody sitting behind a desk and they greet you very coldly.
Well, it
they
can be
don't
anywhere.
smile.
Even if you're going to a party. You might be going to a party, Steve, but everyone doesn't want you to go there. So when you walk in the room, everyone just stares at you and they don't look very happy to see you. So you can describe that as a frosty reception.
You might be giving a presentation at work and everyone's got a stony face. You're giving a presentation and nobody's reacting to what you're saying. You're asking questions and you're not getting any feedback. You could say that you're getting a frosty reception from the people in the audience.
So now you can see how the game works. So you look at the picture and that picture is conveying or giving you a well-known idiom. And even if you don't know it, well, as you've just seen, we will explain it to you. It is a very common idiom that we use. Here's another one, Mr. Steve. This is our second one. Again, just look at the picture and tell us what you see. This one might be easy, but then again it might not. Here it is. Oh, interesting. Very dramatic, by the way. I was working hard yesterday creating all of these, and no, I did not use AI to make these. These are all separate elements that I've joined together. So no artificial intelligence was used here. My creativity was used. Here we go then. Guess the picture idiom. It is a well-known expression that we use, maybe something that has a good side and a bad side, the positive things and the negative things. So this could be describing one of those things. So just say what you see. Do you have any idea, Mr. Steve? Don't say the answer, but does it give you any clues, do you think?
Not really. Somebody's falling.
Okay, don't say any words.
Into something. Like a pit. Or
Oh, yes, okay, Steve, don't say anything. Don't say words because
yeah, okay.
just say anyway, it's all right. So we don't want to give the answer, is what I'm saying.
Be in a hole, says Fariborts. Doubling down, says Tom. Falling into the hole, says Beatrice. Yes, that is what they're doing.
Yes, you're all in the right area. But look at the thing. Look at the thing. And look what the man is doing. There are two things there, and something is happening. And it is also something that can be described as a negative part of something. There can be a positive side of something and a negative side. This expresses the negative of that thing.
Drop in the well, says Lewis. It does look like a well. For I can't. I'm afraid I'm stumped on this one, Mr. Duncan. If you're stumped, it means that you can't think of the answer to something.
I see. So maybe something you want to do, maybe a thing you want to invest your money in, but there might be some things that are risky, dangerous, or maybe something that might be seen as negative. I'm amazed. I thought this one was easy. I'm going to be honest with you, but then I suppose it is easy if you're the one making it, because you're the one creating
Back to
it.
square one, says and you what? Not sure it's that. Falling down. Just tell us, Mr. Duncan.
Yes. Well, I will tell you because we will be going in a minute. I can't believe
an idiom.
It's gone fast today. The answer to this particular picture idiom is...
Oh, right. A pitfall.
Ah, yes.
Yes, I suppose...
Something is a pitfall. There, the man is falling into a pit. And this is a very common expression that is, you might say that it is in business, quite often in business or some sort of investment. There might be negative sides to it, and you will describe that as a pitfall. Does that make sense, Steve?
Yes, a pitfall. So you might want to start a business in something, but there are going to be problems. A pitfall is a problem, isn't it? A problem that you will have to overcome if you are to move forward in something. It's a pitfall of doing live streams is that sometimes the technology doesn't work.
Yes.
Or one of the pitfalls of doing a live stream is that sometimes the internet's not working.
Or Mr. Steve gets a bad throat.
Yes.
And keeps coughing.
One of the pitfalls of driving is having to put up with other drivers on the road.
Yes.
Yes, it's a pitfall. It's something that is going to cause you problems. One of the pitfalls of my job is that I have to try and get past receptionists because they don't want me to see my customers.
If you are inquiring about the negative sides of something, you might ask what the pitfalls are. What are the pitfalls of investing my money in your company? So there will be positive things and there might be difficulties or problems or risks. So they are described as the pitfalls, the things that could cause you difficulty or harm. You might lose your money. You might lose some of your money. We describe that as a pitfall.
One of the pitfalls of investing on the stock markets is that your investments may go down as well as up.
Yes.
You could describe that as a pitfall if you do that. But one of the pitfalls of retiring is that you might run out of money. I'm not saying you will. That's how you could use that phrase. A pitfall, a negative,
so
something that could go wrong.
I have a feeling, Steve, that might be a new phrase for many people.
Although Claudia says you used that phrase in one of your lessons back in 2014.
Oh, my goodness.
Apparently you've done a lesson about pitfalls, Mr. Duncan.
11 years ago.
11 years ago, so well remembered. I don't think even Mr. Duncan remembers doing that
I
video.
don't remember anything about that.
That's one of the pitfalls of having hundreds and hundreds of lessons, is that Mr. Duncan can't remember some of the ones that he actually wrote and produced.
So over 18 years, I've done many things. I've said many words. I've filmed many videos. And to be honest with you, quite a lot of them I don't remember. I don't even remember having a moustache on the live stream. I don't remember any period of time where I had a moustache. And yet, during that compilation video in the promotion, you can clearly see I'm sporting a moustache. So I think that's quite interesting that I actually did have a moustache, but I don't actually recall ever having one on the live stream.
One of the pitfalls of getting older is that sometimes you get episodes of bad health. You could say. You could say one of the advantages of getting older, for example, is that you become wiser in the way that you think about the world. But one of the pitfalls is that your health may suffer.
That's it. Or you might forget things like I did.
You might forget things.
You might, like I did today. I had one of my little moments where my brain just switched off. Talking of switching off, Mr. Steve, it's almost time for us to switch off the studio and plunge everything into darkness, because we are going to have a cup of tea and your delicious tea cake loaf. Is that right?
Yes. Lewis says that, yes, it was in your story of Edward Allan Poe is when you use the word pitfall. But anyway, you can all look that up.
I might look it up myself.
Yes.
I don't remember doing it.
Yeah, lovely to be here as ever. Hope you've learned something, and all you lovely friends, I will see you all again. Am I here next Sunday? Yes, I think I am, Mr. Duncan.
Yes, and of course
Don't think I'm going anywhere next Sunday.
We will be into April.
Yes, what about Jaffa cake, says Fariborch. Yes, but one of the pitfalls of eating lots of high-fat, sugary foods is that you put on weight.
There. Guess what? I'm going to eat one of these later on, and there's nothing Mr. Steve can do to stop me.
Right, I'm going into the kitchen, Mr. Duncan.
Yeah.
And I'll see you all next week. Have a good week learning English, and don't forget to like this video, and if you haven't subscribed, if you're new, subscribe as well. It does help Mr. Duncan's channel.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Steve, and we will see you next week. There he goes. That was Mr. Steve. You can see him every Sunday. I am back with you on Wednesday, so I will be with you during the week. And also I will be with you on the 2nd of April, because of course we have a new month beginning on Tuesday. It will be April the 1st. Try not to get caught out with any April Fool's jokes or tricks. Someone might try to trick you into believing something. If you want to leave a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, please do that. It would be ever so nice, in fact, because if you follow my YouTube channel, you will never miss anything ever again. So please give me a like and also subscribe as well, and then you will never lose touch with my English lessons. Thank you very much for watching today. I am back with you on Wednesday. This is Mr. Duncan saying thank you for watching. It's been lovely sharing the past 2 hours with you, even though things are slightly different because the clocks have gone forward. But I will be back with you on Wednesday, 2 p.m. UK time, British summertime. And of course next Sunday, the same time, 2 p.m. UK time. See you soon. I will leave you with the beautiful sound of the dawn chorus that I had this morning. And then we will have a look outside the window as well. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of the English language saying thank you for watching. See you later. And of course, until the next time we meet, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Keep that smile upon your face as you walk amongst the human race. And I will see you very soon. Ta-ta for now. See you on Wednesday.